and welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the WardiTV Monday number 35. Again, a very special edition here, the return of a Canadian legend. Let's jump in as we are following her story into the round of 16. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ley Lines, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing his new team, Virtus Pro. It is Classic. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Canadian Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing Shopify Rebellion. It is Scarlett. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Which way will this go? The way of Scarlett, the way of Classic? Best of luck in the chat. Predict while you can, as this could go either way. I say that Scarlett had a very strong showing against Geralt earlier, showing what would happen if you were maybe a little bit too passive against Scarlett. We'll take advantage of you, especially in game 1 on Pylon. In game 2, we saw a more aggressive side of Scarlett, going for the all-in instead as a response to Glaive Adepts. But what I will say is that Classic is a lot less passive than Geralt. Classic, I can definitely see going for more Stalker aggression in the mid game, being more intense, being more aggressive, and being more in your face. We'll see how Scarlett compares to Classic. This is going to be the biggest challenge yet. I'm here for it. Let's go. Let us go. Whew. As so far, Hatchcats full standard opener out of Scarlett, nothing too crazy, nothing too wild. Likewise, Classic going for a gate expand into Cybercore as well. When it comes to the early game, nothing really to write home about, but really what I'm curious about is the follow-up here. Classic known for Stargate play into Blinkstalker aggression. Classic is also kind of like Hero Light, where Classic is willing to mix things up as well. He can be a little bit unpredictable. We have seen Classic do builds like Embrace Skytoss really early on to go for like early Blink into cutting gateways, into an earlier Fleet Beacon, into Stargate, into Skytoss on 3 bases. Classic is willing to be more aggressive and throw down extra gateways and go for a 3-base all-in, go into Glaive Adepts, go into Archon follow-ups. Classic can be quite diverse in his play, so we'll see if Scarlett is able to keep up when it comes to the tech, respond, and shut Classic down. Let's go. So far, Classic being active. I think Scarlett bringing down Geralt earlier alongside Jessie shows that Scarlett has been practicing, has been keeping up, is getting back into shape. For how long, hard to say, but it does bode well when it comes to DreamHack Dallas, right? It's like, I would imagine a big reason for Scarlett's return is the return of EWC and the beginning of the new circuits. When it comes to DreamHack Dallas, when it comes to Home Story Cup as well, Scarlett is back in North America, by the way. She's back in North America. I know she spent a lot of time in China at the start of the year, but has returned just in time for DreamHack Dallas. Remember, DreamHack Dallas is at the end of the month, so I wouldn't be surprised if Scarlett is going to be at that event. So now is the time to be peaking in skill. As so far, Stargate opener into the Oracle. Classic does move out. Behind the second Oracle's on the way. So far, Scarlett holding her own. Looking good. Spores are on the way. Classic catching up some lava, nothing major. 16 more lings in production. Scarlett's goal should be to shut down these Zeps and also counterattack. Back at home, second Oracle has arrived. That's going to be a faster Twilight Council from Classic. Similar to the last game with Geralt's, Classic maybe looking to go into early Glaive Adepts. Does feel like early Glaives. Yeah, and Scarlett does sneak by. Cheeky moves here from Scarlett. Does avoid the Adepts, does avoid the Oracles, but making her way across the map, heading towards the third. And we'll see if Scarlett can get a cancel. It's going to be close. Adepts are in position. They do get away in time. Scarlett heading towards the natural, but alas, Classic will defend. Oracles are racing back home. Scarlett takes down 2 Adepts. Not bad. 2 Adepts go down. They get the Lings, they get on top of the Pylon. Pylon goes down as well, denies the warp in. Not bad. Another Adept falls. There is a secondary wall behind this. Classic does hold on to the natural. This is some nice damage here with these Lings. catching out 3 Adepts, a Pylon as well. Behind this, Blink, not Glaives. Interesting. So we have early Blink on the horizon here for Classic. The Classic is forced back home, and this is allowing Scarlett to drone. Allowing Scarlett to drone up, saturate, take gases, 4th base on the way. All the pressure was alleviated thanks to the Ling run by. This was worth it for Scarlett. Now working towards Eva Chamber alongside Lair. This feels like +1 melee, but now here comes a counterattack, and Scarlett, has she been too greedy? Scarlett, remember, has been droning, and Scarlett is not ready for this. Lings are on the way. This is looking dicey. And on the one hand, it was good damage, but on the other hand, is not ready for this. Worker's going to be pulled away. Adepts, they get into the mineral line. They target down some drones. 1, 2 drones going down. Getting up to 3. As Adepts, they shade into the natural. Stasis goes off as well. Ay, ay, ay. And this is getting out of hand. Getting up to 5. Getting up to soon to be 6 drone kills. 7 drone kills even. Another stasis. Another stasis going off. Scarlett does pull away. 10 drone kills go. 10 workers go down. And with that, Classic is successful. And remember, this was only 6 Adepts. This is not a big Adept commitment here. It's only 6. Behind this, Classic fully saturated on 3 bases, working towards Blink, +1. Temple Archives on the way. Sorry, Temple Archives 4 Storm, 4 Archons, 4th base as well. Classic looking solid back at home. And it's going to be on Scarlett to recover here. Infestation is on the way. Interesting. I'm curious what the plan is from here, as we already have the Hydra. Okay, so it's going to be Ling Hydra into Lurker Tech, but Scarlett needs time. Scarlett needs time to recover, to re-drone, to resaturate. And you can see the Classic is being active. Unlike Geralt, who was more defensive and more passive, Classic, he's just constantly in the face of Scarlett. Moving in once again, taking down more creep. Maintaining map control. Scarlett does bypass those Stalkers. Headed towards the bases. Back at home, there is a wall. Scarlett heads towards a mineral line. No shield battery, bit of greedy here from Classic. Lings, they slip in. Probes are going to be going down. Not bad. Getting 3, getting almost up to 4. So 3 probe kills. Behind this, Lurker Den is on the way. Now, if Scarlett can survive until Lurker Tech, like, she's almost there. If she can make it to Lurkers, if she can morph in some Lurkers, she can hold and defend against the eventual push of Classic. Scarlett is almost there. Needs a little bit more time. Speaking of, High Templar are amassing. A Storm is almost done. Charge is finishing as well. It's gonna be close. As we mentioned, there's a window. There's a window in time here where Scarlett is vulnerable. Scarlett needs time for Lurkers, and they're not ready yet, and Classic is pushing. Classic is moving out. He's not allowing Scarlett to have that breathing room to be able to comfortably get into Lurker Tech. Classic moving in. Lurker Den is done in a couple of seconds. As Classic pushes forward. Does move forward. Storm's going to be popping up. The base is exposed. Storm in the mineral line. And Hydras are being forced back. And there's still, what, 2 more Storms? At least 2 more. I mean, really nice concave here by Scarlett. Forcing out the Storms early. Ooh, a better Storm towards the end. Let's see how Scarlett does hold, does defend, does force back the army. And a nice defense here by Scarlett. Again, really nice concave. Really rarely did a stack up. Rarely stacked up the army. Stutter says forward, takes down the Zealots, getting in trouble with the High Templar, getting in trouble with the Stalkers as well. And Scarlett holds. Scarlett, she holds on, she does defend, she does survive, and now you know what time it is. It's time for Lunkers. Let's go. It's going to be Lurker time. A second Lurker Den gets thrown down. We do have attempted Sky Toss here from Classic. Sky Toss is on the way. As here come the Lunkers. 8, 9 Lurkers now morphing in for Scarlett. And the game continues. And again, that was a very clutch hold here from Scarlett. It was a little bit more slow paced, but a lot of it came down to Scarlett's spread. She spread out her Hydras very nicely there to make sure that the Storms were not really, they weren't really getting too much value. The Storms were decent, but we never saw a juicy Storm until the very end. There was like 1 good Storm. Outside of that, they grazed the army. So Scarlett did hold. Oh, Spots more High Templar. Oh, that's a brutal storm on the Hydras though. Yeah, much more brutal storm. At the same time, Lurker is going across the map, not defending back at home. Bold move here out of Scarlett, but it pays off. It pays off. She barely holds on top of the ramp. Lings here for a counterattack, but there's a wall of cannons and shield bodies. Oh my god, there's just so much to defend. Oof, once again, the storms are brutal. The Lurkers, they're barely not done in time. It is close. But the Lurker counterattack here, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Classic does break through. This was a big gamble for Scarlett, but in the end, they're attempting to defend. And Classic breaks through. Classic breaks through the main army. Getting on top of the Hydras, breaking through all the Lurkers. The final Lurkers are going to be killed by these Tempests. GG gets called, and Classic will take game number 1. Will take a lead over Scarlett. Whew. GG. Again, a much more intense game here. Classic was constantly in the face of Scarlett when it came to the Adept harass, when it came to the Stalker move out, and the initial High Templar timing as well. I was very impressed that Scarlett did defend just before Lurker. She was able to defend against those High Templar, defending against the Storm. It was impressive, but as we saw, after that defense, Scarlett went for a big gamble, a big gambit, went for a big Lurker counterattack across the map, and tried to defend with purely Ling Hydra. It was risky, wasn't worth it. That Lurker counterattack ran into Tempest. It ran into Tempest, so Lurkers that were stuck. They didn't really get any value. I think they may have killed the Cyber Core at the wall. Maybe a gateway at the wall, but nothing major was done. That meant the Scarlett was vulnerable back at home without the Lurkers. So it was a really risky move. It was a big gambit. It did not pay off in the end. And with that, Classic breaks through. GG. With that, we're getting into our next game. Now, what bodes well to me is that 1, Scarlett was able to survive until Lurkers, which was impressive. 2, if Scarlett had kept the Lurkers at home, the game probably would have progressed. I still would have given the edge to Classic just because Skytoss was building up, right? Like, Classic is already working on Skytoss, so that's already a rough position to be in as a Zerg player. But the game would have continued. And we'll see if we can bring us to the ace match. Let's go. As spawning in the top right hand corner of Ultra Love, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing his new team, Virtus Pro. It is Classic. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Canadian Zerg player. We have the Red Zerg representing Shopify Rebellion. It is Scarlett. Again, Scarlett's marking her return to open cups and open tournaments with this week's WardiTV Monday. And we'll see if she can bring us to game 3. I want to believe she can, but welcome one and all to Ultra Love. We've been here before. Once again, to reiterate, Ultra Love is a more defensive map. It is more defensive than Ley Lines, the map that we were just on. It is more difficult to break a player on 3 and 4 bases. We did see an example of that in the previous series between Scarlett and Geralt, where Geralt was able to defend against the all-in very nicely, and also stabilize on 4 bases as well. Eventually, Scarlett did break him, but it took a lot. It took a lot to break Geralt on 4 bases and to bring him down. So we'll see if Scarlett takes a more aggressive approach and goes for an earlier all-in. We'll see if Scarlett tries to play a more later game approach instead. We'll see. We shall see. So now we are building up. Looks like once again a Stargate opener out of Classic. Does set up his pylon here in his main. So gate expanded Cybercore into said Stargate opener. Everything so far looking normal. And we'll see if either player does deviate here from the norm. If we see Spire play and Muta play, for example, if we get into earlier Overlord Speed, into an earlier German Taxi. If Classic goes into Glaive Adepts. We'll keep an eye on our players. But now we are settling in. Third base is being taken. And there's that Stargate for Classic. Classic does threaten the natural. So far, Scarlett's keeping up and doesn't lose any drones. Nice sport tricks out of Scarlett. Doesn't lose anything at the natural. Scarlett does defend. Behind this, Classic is going to be opening up Oracle. Which, again, to be expected, just Oracle opener into a third base. It's really after this third base is taken that we're going to be keeping an eye open for when it comes to the Twilight Council timings, the Forge timings, the upgrade of choice. Now, we have seen Scarlett really enjoy making a wave of Lings at this point to not just shut down the initial harassing Adepts, but to go across the map and delay the third. Last game wasn't too successful, did kill 3 Adepts if you recall, but wasn't able to force a cancel. So we'll see if Scarlett does double down into mass Ling again. 12 Lings are on the way. 14, yeah, once again we're getting ready for the counterattack. So 14 Lings off of 36 drones. Once again, early Twilight Council out of Classic. Third base on the way. And the goal here should be for Scarlett to try and deny the third base, but you can see that this time Classic races back home with the Adepts. And Classic moves out. Lings counterattack. Last game, Classic was caught out with 2 Adepts. This time, all 4 are back at home. So Classic this time is expecting the Ling counterattack. This time Classic is ready for it. Ling's taken from the expansion. Scarlett does head towards the natural. Classic looking solid. Does defend. Meanwhile, 1, 2, 3. Oh god, getting up to 4, 5, 6 drone kills. Ay, ay, ay. Oh, this shouldn't happen. 8 workers go down. At least Scarlett does get the Oracle, but that was still some brutal damage. No Spore. No Spore in position. And the Queens were barely not enough. They at least do punish the Oracle. That tells me that Classic has less support for his army. But that was still brutal damage. It isn't just that we saw 8 drone kills here, but on top of that, these Lings were also a big investment, and it wasn't quite worth it either. That was a lot of Lings, and what do we see? Overload speed. Once again, we've seen this before on Ultra Love. We're going to see it again. It is going to be a German taxi. Overload speed is on the way. That's going to be for Lords. We do have the Roach Horn on the way as well for Roach Ravager. +1 melee. Scarlett is going to commit. Is going to be aggressive here. I say that's a 4th base on the way. Scarlett is getting up to 3 base saturation initially. And we're waiting for the move out. Oh. I say 3 base saturation, but 3 drones going to be going down. Up to 4 drone kills. Ay, ay, ay. And here we go. Overlord speed is now done. And here come the Lords. Here comes the taxi. We're loading up. Oh, this is fancy though. This I was not expecting. We have Tunnel and Claws. Oh, I think that's a misclick. Oh no, I think that's a misclick because there's no Burrow. Yeah, there's no Burrow getting Tunnel and Claws. That I believe should be Roach speed. Ay, ay, ay. Regardless, here comes the taxi. Here comes the bush. Over 59 workers. The 4th base is just for Larva, and I'm hoping the Scarlett does notice in time to start Roach speed. Classic already being proactive, meeting the army. Ling drop into the main. Main push right down the center. Classic does have warp-ins. It does react in time. Scarlett pushing in between the bases. Stasis does go off. Brutal stasis trap. And this is looking a little bit bleak here. Yeah, nice force shields on the ramp. Classic, he defends the natural. Likewise, Stalkers, they defend third. Scarlett trying to gain ground. And a lot of probes are falling. Boys are being pulled. Okay, not bad. 10 probe kills. 10 workers. The wall is being broken. Storm is not yet done. Scarlett breaking into the natural. Not bad. But does she have enough to keep going? As that's what? 5 shield batteries at the 3rd base. Ay, ay, ay. That's a lot of shield batteries. Files, they knocked down 2. They at least attempt to. Storm is now done. Oh. Yeah, Storm is done. Stalkers are coming from behind. Ravagers are surrounded, and there's no way out of this. The Ravagers, they all go down. GG gets called, and Classic survives, defends the all-in, and Classic will take the series 2-0. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, all-ins are more common here on Ultra Love, but Classic was able to cripple Scarlett early on, killing all those workers, and was able to defend very nicely there with a wall of shield batteries, getting into Storm as well. I will say that Scarlett did a great job at breaking into the natural, but once again wasn't quite able to do more damage than that, as Storm did finish in time and Scarlett was shut down. Also a little bit unfortunate that there was no roach speed towards the end there, but even with roach speed it still would have been difficult to break Classic. Like Classic, he was just a lot more proactive, even slowing down the all-in with the Stalkers, chipping away at the Ravagers. Did a great job at just slowing down Scarlett, and GG. GG, well played. With that, Classic will claim the series, and we are getting ready to follow Classic into the next round. I would imagine. Let's find out. Let us find out. Exclamation mark, be in the chat if you guys want to have a look back at yourselves. Also, a big shout out to Scarlett, because even though Scarlett went down to Classic, Classic is literally one of the best Protoss players in the world. I would say Classic is top 2 Protoss in Korea, potentially top 3 Protoss in the world, or top 4. Depending on how you look at things, but Classic is a beast. So for Scarlett to fall to Classic, there's no shame in that. Also for Scarlett to defeat Geralt does kind of say something about the current skill level of Scarlett. And again, DreamHack Dallas is still on the horizon. There's still time to grow, still time to improve, and to get ready for that big offline event, which I'm sure Scarlett is going to be a part of. So we are looking forward to it, as we have some updates coming in.